post this video whether it works or not. So we're gonna attempt to plant these tomato plants with this tobacco planter. We're gonna do tomato plants, we're gonna do some peppers, some okra, squash, cucumbers. We're gonna attempt to do it all with this transplanter. And I'm gonna let you know what works and what don't work, what it'll plant and what it won't plant. So either way, I'm gonna video it whether it works or not. Anyway, stay tuned. This is the plan too. The wife's gonna ride this by herself. She's gonna ride the row, and then I'm gonna stop at the end, and then she's gonna step off and let me get turned around, and then she's gonna step back on and ride the row down. The next, it's gonna be one row of tomatoes, a skip row, then cucumbers and squash, and then peppers, and then a mixed row of a little bit of everything. All right, stay tuned. Now, it's planting them, but she can't keep up. Now, we don't have two people to put on it. You're supposed to have two people. One put a plant, the other one put a plant. One put a plant, one put a plant. But I guess this is easier than hand planting them, but I don't know. I'll plant them, but it takes a little more time. Stay tuned. This is a skip row right here. So I'm just gonna drive it back with nobody on the planter. We got a few plants left over. But yeah, they planted the tomatoes good. They did a great job planting the tomatoes. This is a skip row, so I have enough room for my cucumbers to come in. I'll put my cucumbers beside it. If I'm not planting this correctly, somebody give me some insight. But that's close to 2 foot spacing enough for me. She missed a few, but that's where she laid that plant there for. We got a couple here we're gonna put down. We got a couple to come back in there and replant. That is covered up. It's a whole lot easier and better than hand planting them all. What is that? Next ones are squash and where's the tag? Cucumbers. Cucumbers. These are cucumbers. They look mighty pitiful. We're gonna run the row and drop them. If they go, they go. We'll replant the row later. That's why I got a skip beside the tomatoes. But it's either they'll go or they won't. And then we're gonna run the row one time anyway, just to see where to plant them. Then we're gonna do the squash. We'll do the squash on the way back, and then after that, then we're gonna do the peppers. You should plant peppers good because they got a lot of leg on them. Mosquito. Just do every other one of them, so that way you ain't trying to. They need a little more space anyway.
Sit them over there, they rest them over there.
All right, sit that tray there. Well, stay tuned. We're gonna try the cucumbers now. Yeah, I'm on the clutch hard. You keep up with every other one like that? Hot dog, you gotta go in there. We run out of plants, don't worry about it. All right, that's it. Well, step out, baby. Try to turn around. That planted them little puny things. Anyway, it planted them little puny cucumbers. Now we're gonna try these puny squashes. Squash ain't too puny though. going on there? Something ain't right.
Whoa,
It's planting them, dear.
it's not working out, though.
All right. Well, it will not plant the squash, so we're gonna switch over to peppers now. They ought to plant them peppers because they got some legs on them. They ought to plant them. They ought to plant these for sure too. These got a lot of leg on them. But we're gonna hand plant this row. I'd rather hand plant one row than 6, you know. But we're gonna do peppers now. Stay tuned. Well, we got to skip there. But I hand planted 8 plants out of 48, so they planted 40 of them. So, you know, that was a whole lot easier to plant 8 by hand than it was 48. Got 1 plat. Tomato plants, 1 whole row, 1 plat. Anyway, stay tuned. We're gonna try the peppers now. Had to stop, better catch back up. Looks like it's planting the peppers pretty good. Get the one you. You got it, girl. You got it. Up in this one. All right, just save those. Row of peppers. Got a few to go back and replant. She is planting cayenne peppers now. We got a couple of plats for them. Need 2 people on that. But one probably works better when you got all kinds of different stuff you're trying to do. You good? The tractor would go slower with help. The tractor was slower would definitely help. And she getting a different type of plant there now. Man, you got a couple skips back there. It will plant peppers good. It will plant tomatoes great.
Jalapeño's good.
Jalapenos, cayennes, any kind of pepper, anything got some leg on it. Tomatoes was a great help because last year we planted 100 of them by hand. And it planted, what's it, squash? Cucumbers good. They planted cucumbers good. Planted those good. We got some shitty ass plants, but it is what it is. We had to go in here. We might have to replant that, get another plat of them or something. But I'll just run the seeder through here. That's the squash. It wouldn't do nothing with the squash. It wouldn't plant the squash. They're too viney. They're not straight enough. But I had 48 tomato plants, and I hand planted 8, I believe, out to 48. And so I was very satisfied with that. We're gonna plant at least a row of tomatoes every year. We cut back on it this year because we're working with pigs and corn and stuff. And so I cut back on some of my vegetables and just grew more corn for the pigs. But this is the tobacco planter I picked up. I haven't showed this, but a glimpse of it. This had a 3-point hitch bar on it. You need 2 people on this thing. You really do. But when you're just doing a row of this and that, we had 6 rows laid out here. One person can do it. You just got to take your time. It's a whole lot easier for both of us this way, because we're both sitting down, than it is putting every one of these plants in by hand. You know, it's a whole lot easier to do 8 plants than 48 plants. If it makes any sense. But I got this planter for $100 and it had to do nothing to it. I did pick up that point accidentally, that factory point for it. I seen that in a pile of stuff a guy had for sale. The whole pile of stuff screwed across the trailer, and I seen that point, and I said, that fits a transplanter. And I think I'm gonna give him $50 for that point. I gave him $50 for that point and pinned it directly to it, and I took that old cobbled up mess off of it they had for a homemade 3-point hitch. The Super A is faster than first gear than the 140 is, so I knew that won't gonna work out. 2 foot, babe. Do two of your feet. Just whatever that plant is there. Yeah, just go right in the middle of them. But yeah, one person misses some too. And when we get to the end, we take what's left over and put it in the missed spots. It definitely helped. Everything you see here, it planted. I mean, so it was a damn sure help. It wasn't planted the okra. We got a hand plant the okra. It wasn't planted the okra. It was too small. It planted a few of them. I'm gonna beagle after something up there. It planted a few of the okra, but it wasn't really doing that great. Them okra plants are so short. It planted a couple of them, but it did great with the peppers and the tomatoes for sure. Anyway, this is our backer planter video, vegetables with a, like I say, if you plant sweet potato slips, it'll do good with sweet potato slips. Anything got some leg on it. I was worried about the tomatoes. I was worried about them getting hung up in the bottom down here, but they planted tomatoes great. It planted every tomato slip that she dropped, put it to you that way. Every one she dropped, they planted. If you want one planted there, it's because she missed it. But I got a set of rubber fingers. One of these sets of rubber fingers is broke. But she had to skip that one anyway. Must be down the bottom. And one side is working. Like I said, we cut back on the vegetables a lot this year. Jimmy Red's doing good. Jimmy Red's coming up. My sweet corn, I gotta get in here and cultivate it. We've been working on this trailer last 2 weekends. Some Jimmy Red coming up here. I gotta get in here and cultivate this. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is one more little piece I want to add to this video here. That's why I took the barrel came with it, the water barrel. That water barrel was with this planter. And I unhooked the hose before I brought it down here. The hose was still on it. Me and Bland Farms isn't bothering on that because you got to take your cultivator frames off and your fertilizer drive. And you see what we got here. It's not worth it for me. You know, if I was planting 4 or 5 acres of slips, it would be worth it. But just to do 5 or 6 rows, it's just not worth it. And really, the only thing it did was tomatoes and peppers. You really need tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers. It did the cucumbers great. So really, it only for 3 rows. But that's 3 rows we had to bend the backs for, you know. And I got this at a price that I can resell it and get my money back. Anyway, I just want to explain that why I didn't keep the water barrel. And you see what I got here. I'm just not stripping this stuff off my tractor just to do 3 or 4 rows with every year. I don't mind plugging that in. And we'll work it out because, like I said, every plant that thing puts in the ground, that's one less that we got to be in the backs for. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is the transplanting vegetables videos. Biker planting video with vegetables with a biker planter.